Hello, I'm Bookface. Alright, it's been a while, but now we're back with more... It's been a long time since I've done that, and it's a lot stupider than I remembered. So, I knew that there were more aliens sighted around the world that I could talk about. But here's the thing. I've been trying to do a little better about citing my sources and making my video topics a little more reliable. Like, yeah, they're all kind of goofs. I take them goofy, but what was that even supposed to mean? I handle things with a lot more goofage than most educational stuff. But then again, I also don't want to just be recycling stuff from wikis that have no sources whatsoever, and it could just be making stuff up completely. So yeah, finding sources on aliens is very difficult, mostly because you lose your faith in humanity very quick. But I found some. Another thing that makes the aliens a little trickier to get content on is the fact that most alien sightings are of like a single entity and one incident versus like hundreds of Bigfoot or Nessie or Chupacabra sightings or whatever that really put a picture together. With aliens, you just have to take what this one random person who was out in a field at midnight says as gospel, and it's a little tricky to go with that. Also, a little thing I'm doing, since most aliens have names that are pretty boring because it's usually just the place they're sighted or the witness's name with alien slapped on the end of it. Or it's some really cool name, but again, since it's not really like a widespread thing, it doesn't catch on and then you can never actually find that. I'm going to tell you what the more official terminology of it is, and then make my own name, because creativity. So I'm sure there's a lot of creativity in most of these sightings. This is one of the few series that I'm actually more skeptical than not, which I think is hilarious. Also, going off script for a minute because I feel like it. I bought a Game Theory watch. It's really cool. It's nice. Good merch. I like Game Theory. My only other note and why it's relevant, it looks like I'm wearing an Omnitrix, and it brings back so much nostalgia, and I can only think if I was still a kid and loving Ben 10 like I used to, it's still good, then I would just lose it at this watch. It is awesome. Also, Game Theory, please do a Ben 10 theory. I beg of you. That would be so awesome. Anyways, that was rambling. Let's get into the video. Woo! I didn't even say that right. You know what? It's fine, let's just go on. Let's just do it. First up, we have the Imjärvi alien, a creature that was sighted in Imjärvi, Finland in 1970. I dubbed the Pinhead Larry. So these two guys were out skiing one afternoon. They stopped in a small clearing for, I don't know, take a nap? I don't know. When they heard a buzzing noise and saw a light approaching in the distance. Then they saw a 9-foot-wide flying saucer surrounded by reddish-gray mist. Who broke the fog machine? It's very inconvenient. Hey, what's that? The saucer had a dome on top of it with 3 spheres on the lower side. Very traditional UFO look. The classics. It fired a beam of light at the ground, and then something pulled one of the guys backwards. I'm just imagining those old shows or cartoons that just get a shepherd's staff and yoink. After that whole thing, they saw a being standing in the light. It was about 3 feet tall, it had thin arms and legs, a pale, waxy face, a hook nose, small ears that narrow towards the head, which I may or may not have forgotten to draw, don't judge me, and claw-like fingers. It wore a light green overall-looking thing, with dark green boots reaching over the knees. Got them thigh highs, I see. These aliens. And white gloves reaching the elbows. And also had a conical metallic helmet. Okay, so I'm not saying anything, but just noting a similarity here. It also glowed like phosphorus, which is a very specific comparison. I wouldn't know what phosphorus specifically glows like. The exact luminosity of phosphorus eludes me. It held a black box with a pulsating yellow light on it. It shot a light from the box at one of the guys, and then everyone was just engulfed in mist and sparks. Guys, I really think we should fix this fog machine. It's starting to seem like an issue. The guy who got hit by this light was paralyzed and actually had to be carried back home. After the encounter, the witnesses experienced nausea, back pain, joint pains, and they peed black, which one of them described as pouring black coffee onto the snow. And I mean, yeah, that's a description, a wildly concerning description at that. These symptoms went on for months, and some person, official doodad, I don't know, came to the conclusion that it sounded like radiation sickness. The validity of this sighting is also helped by the fact that a couple other people in the general area cited the same UFO described. Next we have the Lake Baikal humanoids, which were sighted in Russia in 1982. I dubbed the Spooky Space Cutler, because I love Scooby-Doo. These beings were reported by the Russian Navy in Lake Baikal. They were encountered by divers and resembled humanoid beings wearing silver suits without any obvious breathing apparatus. Where we're going, we don't need air. Three people attempted to follow these beings, but ended up dying in the process. Yeah, you do actually still need air. Due to this lake being incredibly deep, large, and old, some think that it's home to an underwater alien base. I actually don't have much to say on that. Lastly, we have the Polaski alien encounter, the creatures of which were sighted in Greenburgh, Pennsylvania in 1973. I dubbed the SETI Sats Bear. I hope you think that's as funny as I did. Now, this creature, or these creatures, were seen by a farmer who at first sighted a bright red UFO flying over his field. So he went to investigate with his 2 children. This is the most white person in a horror movie thing I have ever read. Don't bring your children. Just tell them to go inside and play with the dog. I'll handle the big ol' aliens. The light flew low, and after this they got out of their car, which they used to get towards it. Please, stop, don't get out of the car. Why did you get out of the car? The UFO then flew towards them, and also it sounded like a lawnmower. Oh, now you done did it. Everybody about to get face hugged. While they were watching the UFO, one of the kids saw 2 bear-like, 7-foot-tall creatures with dark hair and yellow-green eyes standing behind a nearby fence. They smelled like burning rubber and made a noise like a whining baby. That's just... I love how these aliens somehow managed to encapsulate the overt terror of large predatory-looking creature, but also the more obscure horror of, oh, but it also smells horrible and makes it sound like a crying baby. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't know what this voice is, but this voice does not like it at all. These figures started to approach, and our heroes, protagonists, POV characters, understandably freaked out a bit. Dad shot near one of them, and the figures did not care. Then he shot one of them in the chest 3 times. It had a vague reaction, and then just wandered off into the woods. And then the ship went dark and, I guess, disappeared. Considering how casual the reaction is described, I can only assume it didn't actually hurt, but it was just kind of offended. Like, how dare you? What is you do? That's probably how an alien would react to our grammar. What is you do? Later on, the area where the ship was flying over glowed white and animals refused to approach. At least the animals have some sense. Also, after the incident, the witness kinda went feral for a bit, claimed he saw a man in a black hat and cloak wielding a sickle out in his field. Dude just saw the Grim Reaper. This is why you don't investigate suspicious lights in the field. And there we have 3 more aliens. This was wild. I'm glad I found more, and I've actually found several more aliens and a semi-reliable source to use, so I can actually do more of these sometime soon. I look forward to it. If you look forward to it, validate me in the comments by saying 2 more videos. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, comment down below and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!